Welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. A big thank you once again for the support you're granting this platform. In Kenya, we have a working constitution. Kenya is a country governed by the rule of law. You can run from the law, but you can't hide from the law. That is what each and every public servant must understand. That once you are in power, you can run from the law. But once you are out of power, you can't hide from it. Even when you are in power, you can't hide from it. It's a big blow to William Ruto over the Ebola quarantine facility that is already set up at the Laikipia military airbase. The Health Cabinet Secretary, Aden Duale, has been found in contempt of court over continued construction of a U.S. Ebola facility in Laikipia, despite the court halting it. And CS Duale refused to honor that court order. The High Court has summoned the CS to appear before it. That is today, Tuesday, at 11 a.m. And this is the time, as I'm going on air, this is the time we should appear for mitigation and sentencing. For mitigation and the sentencing. I'm waiting to see how this will turn out. This comes after an application filed by the Katiba Institute, who is the petitioner, in the case seeking to stop the construction of the Ebola quarantine facility. According to the court documents I have, on Monday, that is yesterday, the Cabinet Secretary, Aden Duale, failed to comply with the interim orders halting the establishment and operationalization of the proposed Ebola quarantine, isolation, and treatment facility pending the determination of a constitutional petition. And this ruling is a major development in the high-profile legal battle over a proposed U.S.-backed Ebola facility that has drawn opposition from civil society groups, residents, lawyers, and even the county government of Laikipia, and even politicians from the opposition. The Katiba Institute and the Law Society of Kenya last month had moved to court arguing that the project was being implemented without adequate public participation, disclosure, and constitutional safeguards. The judge gave orders barring the government from establishing, operationalizing, or approving any Ebola-related quarantine, isolation, or treatment facility linked to arrangements with the United States of America or any foreign government pending the hearing of the petition. Duale told the court that the government had immediately suspended activities being undertaken under the Kenya-US collaboration once the conservatory orders were issued. What is Katiba Institute saying today? So today, we expect Aden Duale to appear in court in person for for sentencing. I don't know if he will appear. Now, I want to read for you what Katiba Institute is saying here. Katiba Institute, this is what it's saying. Yeah. The High Court has vindicated the rule of law by finding Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale in contempt of court. Justice Patricia Nyaundi ruled that the government has deliberately violated existing conservatory orders by allowing construction to continue on the proposed US-backed Ebola quarantine facility at the Laikibia Air Base. The court has summoned CS Aden Duale to appear in court today, the 23rd of June at 11 a.m. to explain the failure to comply with the previous court orders. By finding that CS Duale has, in fact, disclosed all existing disclosable documents relating to the facility, the court has shed light on the government's record keeping regarding the project, because these disclosures completely lack any environmental and social impact assessments or safety contingency plans. This finding confirms a deeply alarming reality. The government commenced construction on a high-risk biological quarantine facility without ever conducting the requisite impact assessments or emergency planning. Katiba Institute brought this contempt application to defend the authority of the judiciary and Kenya's constitutional right to public participation. We are witnessing a profound disrespect for Kenya's sovereignty and a constitutional rule of law. The executive director of Katiba Institute disclosed and said, the fact that the construction continued in direct violation of a High Court order shows that the government believed it could operate entirely above the Kenyan law and the Kenyan judicial system. The ruling sends a clear message. Public health initiatives must bow to constitutional accountability, transparency, and the rule of law. The Katiba Institute demands the immediate cessation of all activities at the Laikipia site. You know, since the finance bill was passed, I have not heard anyone, again from the government, talk about the Ebola facilities in 47 counties. I vividly remember the PS, the Principal Secretary for Health. I heard her say that she will not rest until she achieves 47 quarantine centers and isolation treatment facilities. But since that time, since the finance bill got its way and was approved by the National Assembly, since that time, I haven't seen anyone again moving around in counties to see if those quarantine facilities have been built. I'm beginning to believe that maybe these individuals were distracting us from the finance bill. Maybe. Time will tell. God bless you. See you in the next episode. Asanteni sana.